We are going to continue on with our Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series media availability here at Daytona for the 39th Annual Advanced Auto Parts Clash. And we are now joined by Todd Gordon, crew chief of the winning car, the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford for Penske Racing, and also Michael Nelson, Vice President of Operations for Penske Racing. Let's start with you, Todd. Walk us through your perspective of watching all of that unfold over those last few laps.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I wondered what was going to happen. We kind of tried to make a charge and fell back, but you know, it's obviously you could see that the Toyotas were trying to work together, and good to get us in the 2 and the 4 kind of working together there and pushing back up through. I thought, you know, it's a matter of when runs happen, and I thought we had a good run coming. The 2 made a pretty good move on the 11. He blocked him pretty hard and put us in a position to take advantage. So a successful day. You know, good for the pit crews to get cycles on pit road. Good for everybody. A good way to kick off speed weeks.
And Michael, the Fords yesterday in practice showed a lot of speed. In Daytona 500 practice, you had 7 of the top 10 speeds on the chart. Well, were you surprised to see the Toyotas dominant today, but then coming up to the front?
Well, we've had a good speed weeks and good super speedway group last year as well. So, you know, really thankful for Roush Yates Engines, the work those guys have put in the off season to try to keep us hopefully where we left off with some super speedway wins. And you know, the guys at Team Penske really worked hard. So yeah, I think you've seen a lot of Fords up front in practice yesterday, and hopefully that translates this afternoon to qualifying.
Okay, we're going to open the floor up for questions. If you have a question, we'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start up front with Kenny Bruce and work our way around the room.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. For Todd, I guess you take all the credit for the win. It was probably
I
came
watched
from the
it.
pit box. Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Compared to a points race, how much game planning can you do for something like this?
Well, I think game planning for this place. The biggest part, I think, is preparation, the off-season work of figuring out what our package need to be handling-wise. This place is, you know, is getting rougher and it's getting older. The asphalt is so. Handling comes back into play. We learned that at the 500 last year. When we started the 500 after the 2 night races, being the Clash and or the Unlimited or whatever it was, and the 150s were both night races. I think the heat of the day and how much we needed to handle was lost on a few of us. We learned a lot in the 500 last year and worked pretty hard in the off season to work on our mechanical balance. So the credit to the team guys of putting in the effort to get our package better. You know, it takes every facet to do this. But strategy-wise for today, I think the first run when the caution came out, you saw 7-time champion spin out twice today. So it tells you the place needs to have some handling to it. But we saw that happen. So took tires there at whatever it was, 52, I think it was. I wanted to be on fresh tires at the end to be able to make aggressive moves. And you let Joey have those situations, he's going to capitalize.
Any additional questions for this gentleman? We'll go to Godwin and then to Bob.
Yeah, I wanted to know about the way the Toyotas are run. You know, they did it last year. They're back this year. I call it the flying wedge. And it seems like you guys may have a plan now to break that up.
I think everybody's seen it happen, and once you see it happen, you come up with a reaction, and it kind of organizes the field. I think you know, you saw it happen here in the 500, and I think the biggest thing they had at that point was they handled. They were disciplined and handled. I think as everybody's made their cars better, there's more cars that will get organized and try to work against that strategy. But we've got to work with our teammates. You know, the one Ford, and we've got some good cars that are in the group that throughout the different teams within Ford that can work together, and we'll work with anybody. It's about racing and how it works. So finding cars that you can work with. I think we'll learn some of that tonight. We'll work through that in 150s and try to keep that from becoming a one-line situation. I think we can do that.
We go next to Bob and then over to Mike.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Todd, I mean, Penske's won the last 3 kind of plate events, right? Or 4. So why shouldn't we? Should we consider you all the favorite for next week?
That's for you to decide. I'm going to work on my race car and try to make it as fast as I can. You know, we can't ever. We've worked pretty hard at it, and I think programs continue to get better. I think Roush Yates does a phenomenal job for the motor side, and you know the aero group continues to work on what we've got. And we've got really good race car drivers, and it takes the whole package. So we'll continue to work forward, and I hope we can have the success that we've had going forward.
Next to Mike.
Mike Hembry, Auto Week. Todd, you mentioned earlier the crashes last year and the conditions. I guess if anything, it's going to be a little more like that this year. And today was some evidence that we may have more of that. Are guys going to have to try to show a little bit of restraint next week, or can you anticipate that happening at all?
I think it drives the teams to start to think about the balance, you know, the balance between handling and speed as a whole. I was really excited when it rained out last night, to be honest with you, because it gave us an opportunity today to race in the sun and on a hotter racetrack and get it more of a feel for what next week is. And you know, it's a data point. We'll work forward from there. But yeah, maybe you'll show a little bit of restraint, but we've got segments to win. So I don't know how much restraint you're really going to see. Yeah, I think it'll be exciting.
Any questions from the press box?
Lee Spencer, motorsport.com. Congratulations, Todd. To follow up on what Godwin said, have you strategized with SHRs possibly trying to put together a 6-car pack the way that the Toyotas did last year with between JGR and Furniture Row?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we're as tightly knit as that group is. I think there's more support between the two of them. We're two independent teams, but I think we obviously they've got good cars, they've got good people, and I can speak particularly for the 22. It seems like us and the 4 end up together a lot of these speedway races for a fair amount of it. I think Joey and Kevin drive very similarly. We've been around the 41 a fair amount, so. We'll work with the guys that we can, and you know those of us that have a common thread, I think understand it's a good tune for everybody. So we'll work together as we can, but I wouldn't say it's the structured situation that the Furniture Row and JGR guys have.
Do we have any additional questions in the press box?
No, we don't.
Okay, we're going to go next to Jordan Bianchi.
I can hear you.
Looking at the dual races, you know, the strategies vary sometimes. Sometimes you really want to put an importance on starting up front. Sometimes if you have an issue early, you're going to fall back and, you know, the heck with it. Looking at the duels, what is your strategy? Are you going to try to put an importance on finishing up there because there's points in the line, or, you know, are you going to try to be a little bit more conservative?
Last I checked, Joey's got 1 speed. We like to race forward. I think the best thing we can do is race forward and race for wins and race to the front. Obviously, if you get in a bad situation where you're 3 wide, 5 rows back, and you see stuff happening, Joey's smart enough to back out and do what he's got to do. But I would say our strategy to race is to race. I think you've got to, you know, there's 10 points out there, and regular season points are going to make a difference at the end of the 26 races. So I think everybody's going to race as hard as they can in the right situations, and look for us to continue to do that.
Any additional questions? Well, gentlemen, congratulations on the victory. Good luck today in Daytona 500 qualifying.
Thank you.
Thank you.